A rivalry that extends 8 miles along Whitney Avenue. Did Quinnipiac or Yale win the Heroes hat on Friday night?
Plus, Cam Young had the game on his fingertips against the 3-time defending conference champions. Did he come through for the Bobcats?
Everything you need to know about the week in Quinnipiac athletics, and of course, your top 5 plays. Take the open. Sports Paws is on the air.
Hello everyone and welcome to Sports Paws. My name is Kevin Higgins and I love talking about sports, and even more so, I love talking about sports with you, Jonathan Banks.
That makes me so good. It just feels so good to hear that.
I'm sure it does. We've got a great show in store for you tonight, and we have to start with the game that had students waiting outside the People's United Center since 8 o'clock Friday morning.
But before we get to that, let's set the scene here. Here's the action before the games, the standings before the game started on Friday night. Cornell in first, Quinnipiac and Yale tied in second, Clarkson in fourth. Really important because Clarkson also played Cornell on Friday night before the Battle of Whitney Ave. We know the standings now. Yale could put some serious pressure at the top with the win in Hamden. It's Quinnipiac, it's Yale. It's the 17th edition of the Heroes hat, and it's now. Quinnipiac and Yale ready to go. Yale hasn't won in Hamden since the 2010-2011 season. You can see the fans are all ready to go. Bobcat Nation in full force. There's Boomer. There's some signs with Boomer. And there's President Judy Olian taking in her first Quinnipiac-Yale game.
Fresh off the State of the Union, Jonathan.
First period now, Quinnipiac really jumped early and often on Yale. They led 19-2 in shots at one point.
That's good, right?
That's great,
okay,
actually.
Cool.
Here's the first one where Wyvon Giovanni's going to feed Odin Tufto, but Corbin Kaspersky makes a nice save there. But later in the first, here's Carlos Chusa to throw in front, and Nick Germain is going to shovel that one home for his first goal of the year. Came back from injury December 29th against Colgate and gets his first tally here. Bobcat Nation loves it.
They sure do, I would too.
Second period now, it's going to be Peter Deliberatore off a pass from Craig Martin. He's going to feed the Swedish sensation, William Falstrom with the finish. And the Bobcats have a 2-0 lead. Now Luke Shiplow with the hezzy. Luke Shiplow with the finish. He scored his freshman year in this game, scores his senior year. Quinnipiac takes a 3-0 lead heading into the third period. Bobcat Nation loves it. Kevin, sit back, take a listen. Love to hear it there. Now back to the action. It's going to be in front. It's going to be for Michael Lombardi. He's got 4 on his back, and he's got 4 for the Quinnipiac Bobcats in a 4-0 victory. A lot of 4s there. Shorty's happy. Quinnipiac takes this one 4-0, as you can see by the result plug there. That shows the number 4. Now Chase Prisky with the Heroes hat. Quinnipiac runs out of Hamden, defeating their rivals 4-0.
I thought it was a great effort tonight. You know, the boys were locked in, the forwards were excellent. We were just relentless. For 60 minutes, Shorty did his job. PK was good. Rink was rocking. It was a great atmosphere and fun environment, and we were happy to take advantage of it. It's a really good Yale team, and you know, we jumped them a little bit tonight, and we were able to sustain it for 60 minutes.
I mean, our fans are obviously awesome, and we take a lot of pride keeping the Heroes hat in here, which is a big thing for us. So both those, and we just get up to play Yale always, so it's a big factor.
Karate Junior Arena was rocking on Friday night, but don't take our word for it. See for yourself. Jonathan Banks has the sights and sounds from the Battle of Whitney Ave.
It's the 4th best team in the country, Quinnipiac, taking on Yale and Hamden at the top of the hour.
Shot deflected by Berger, rebound in front, it goes in! Nick Germain! On a backhanded shot that got deflected, gives the Bobcats a 1-0 lead. Delivered 12, walks in across the Falstrom, he scores! William Falstrom puts the puck home, and the Bobcats have a 2-0 lead.
So fresh off that win against Yale, the boys were on a 5-game heater at home against Brown.
That's exactly what Luke Chiplow said.
That's why I used the quote. I thought winning streaks are down, heater's the new word official. Boomer greeting the team before they go onto the ice here. And we're going to bring it to the second period after we had a scoreless first. Brown setting up an attack here on the power play. And we'll see off the rebound is Brent Bowden with a 1-0 lead there after that goal puts it home. And trouble was brewing for Quinnipiac in this one as they celebrate here.
Fun fact, Brent Bowden was from Londonderry, New Hampshire, and just got his 5th goal on the year.
Well, that is pretty fun, isn't it? So the celebration here is they can feel something special going on against the 4th-ranked team in the nation. Now, early in the third period, we're going to take it to you. Still 1-0, but this time it's Alex Brink who beats Shortridge short side to make it 2-0. Thanks, I tried. And now the Bobcats will need a multi-goal comeback at home against Brown. Now, 3-0 Brown at this point, as they scored only 15 seconds later. But here it's Tufto to Rafferty. Boom goes the dynamite, 3-1. Quinnipiac trying to claw their way back into this one.
You know, they really have a chance, the 4th-best team in the country. In adversity, this is where big teams come through in those moments and find a way to get points from this one.
Well, unfortunately, they couldn't come up big enough, as here on the wraparound, there will be a rebound for Jack Gesser, and he's going to put the nail in the coffin for Quinnipiac. A 4-1 lead in the third. That would be your final. Quinnipiac falls at home in an upset in Hampton. With the split this weekend, Quinnipiac now has 21 points in ECAC hockey and remain 3 points behind conference leaders Cornell, as the Big Reds swept their weekend homestand against Clarkson and St. Lawrence. It's a dogfight for the second spot right now, though, as Clarkson, Harvard, and Yale are all within 2 points of Rand Pecknold's squad.
The team then fell down 2 places in the latest USCHO poll from number 4 to number 6 after the split weekend. The Cornell Big Red, first place in ECAC hockey, continue their climb up the rankings as they slide into the 8th spot. Clarkson slides down 2 places to the 11 hole, while Union, Quinnipiac's Friday opponent, stays in the rankings at number 20. Some more not-so-good news for Quinnipiac is the New Haven Register confirmed a rumor on Saturday that could be detrimental to Quinnipiac's chase for their first national title. Senior defenseman Brandon Fortunato, the 4th highest scoring defenseman in the entire nation, will undergo surgery tomorrow to repair a fractured fibula and ruptured ankle ligaments. The Boston University transfer, considered to be one of the top undrafted free agents in all of college hockey, will be a huge loss for Quinnipiac as they enter the final stretch of their season. With Fortunato out, the Bobcats have to make some adjustments, specifically on their first power play line. Here's Rand Pecknold and forward Ethan DeYoung, who will be taking Fortunato's spot on the power play, at least as of now. This is them on the loss of their senior defenseman and what it means for the team moving forward.
We had Ethan DeYoung on the first unit this weekend. I thought he was really good. I thought we had other issues that not related to him with our first unit this weekend, but you know, it's been good all year, and he's a really good hockey player, and it gives us some different looks. He's a right shot instead of a left shot, so we'll try to take advantage of that, but that would be our plan.
I'm definitely not taking over the spot. Obviously, he was our hottest player. It's definitely a big loss for us. He's unbelievable on the power play. I know the patience he has in Paws, but basically what I'm supposed to do is just get the puck to the net. If Tufto gives it to me, it's shooting, or create a diversion for him to give it across the Prisky or something like that. So basically, I'm just there to shoot the puck.
Well, we talked earlier about the Battle of Whitney Ave in Hamden. The women's ice hockey team played arguably a bigger game against Yale in New Haven on Friday night. The Bobcats and Bulldogs entered the weekend tied for 8th place in ECAC hockey standings with 13 points apiece. Here's the problem. Only 8 teams make the playoffs. With that in mind, the pressure is on for both teams in this one.
The Battle of Whitney Ave, Part 2. Let's roll the tape and get to the action in New Haven. And we're going to actually come at you fast. This is a quick hitting highlight here at Quinnipiac and Yale. 0-0, 8:39 into the first period. We're going to take you right here to the first period. And we're going to have Alexia Gia, who's on the scene, to score her first goal of the game off the rebound. Quinnipiac takes a 1-0 lead. Now Emily Vlasic scores on the fast break on a power play. Now the game's tied at 1. Now it's still 1-1, a minute 39 into the second period. Katie Tabrin around the net. Randy Marcone is there to tuck that one home. The Bobcats have a 2-1 lead. And now all of a sudden in the second period, it's a goal for Yale. Rebecca Faggio on the left side scores off the post. That's all she wrote in this one, as it's a 2-2 tie.
So coming off that inconclusive contest at Yale, Quinnipiac looked to pick up a road win against this slumping Brown team. The Bears entered this one on a 6-game losing streak. As you can see, the Bobcats earned a much-needed 2 points In the victory, Zoe Boyd notched a goal and an assist in this one, while Kenzie Prater, Taylor House, and Randy Marcone all lit the lamp as well. With the big three-point weekend coupled with a Yale loss to Princeton on Saturday, Quinnipiac has vaulted into sole possession of that precious 8th spot in the standings with 16 points. As we head towards the home stretch of the regular season, the Bobcats look like they'd either be slated to play Princeton or Clarkson, but they do have an outside shot of reaching as high as the 5th spot in the standings, as St. Lawrence currently holds that position with 20 points.
We saw the game results and took a look at the current standings. Now let's bring in an expert. My man Patrick Flatley's on for his Sports Paws debut. Patrick, first question for you, it's an easy one. Are the Islanders in first place in the Metro?
Yes.
Yes, despite popular disbelief, they are in first place in the Metro. So, a wagon, confirmed.
Confirmed wagon. Now we got that out of the way. Now we can talk some Quinnipiac women's hockey. So my first question for you, not for the New York Islanders, who has been Quinnipiac's most impressive player?
Quinnipiac's most impressive player to me is Lexia Gia. Coach Cass Turner might not agree with this because she was expecting big things from her since day one, but she has been producing. The true freshman from Team Canada 18U has been putting up numbers, 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. That's 3rd on the team. Kevin, I have a fun fact for you. I know you love fun facts.
Clearly.
We went deep in the archives for this one. She is the first Quinnipiac freshman with 2 assists in her first game since Kenzie Prater in 2016. She's only going to continue to get better, and they're going to need her going into the stretch.
Well, thanks, Pat. That was pretty fun, and I agree. She's really stepped up her game this season. Now, who do you think has been the unsung hero, the most under-the-radar player for the team this year?
It's got to be Zoe Boyd for me. I mean, she has 11 assists that's 2nd on the team in assists, 13 points, that puts her in the top 5 on the team. And I know you guys are men's hockey beat reporters, so I'll give you a little comparison here. I'm going to compare it to Peter DeLibertori. Not only do they wear the same number of 3, but they're also 2 really good, solid two-way defensemen. They move the puck, they join the rush, they get good shots, great vision, and they're locked down on defense. And that's what this team needs, especially with the defensive struggles they've been having as of late. And she's getting more power play times. You know, they've adjusted the power play, a lot more point shots now with traffic in front, and she's just letting them go from the point.
Patrick, actually, when you said the comparison between them, I thought of number 3 right away, but also the power plays, as DeLibertori heads the 2nd unit for the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team. But now on to the third question here. What do you think the team needs to improve on most in the stretch run? They've got 4 games left in the regular season.
I would have said offense, as the scoring wasn't really there to start the season, but now I'm going to switch it to defense. And it's the little things. They're all right in the D zone recently, but it's, like I said, it's the little things. They got to pick people up. They can't get lost in the D zone. They got to get back on the back check to limit the odd man rushes, especially with Allison Small not here anymore. Abby Ides is getting more time, and even more reason to lock up the D zone. So definitely got to lock up the D zone here, limit the shots so Ides can get a little break here during the game.
Now, Pat, this team has been walking a tightrope for that last playoff spot almost all season. When all is said and done, are the Bobcats going to make the postseason?
I think they definitely can. I mean, like you said, the top 8 teams make it. They're currently in 8th. Yale's right behind them, so that wasn't just a big rivalry game, but it was also a huge game for the standings. They still control their own destiny, which I like, and I definitely think they can lock it up for sure.
Yeah, controlling your own destiny is huge in any playoff scenario in any sport. But that's the women's hockey whiz kid, Patrick Flatley. Never thought you'd be called that, but thanks for your time, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Now it's time for our first commercial break. When we come back, it went down to the final seconds. Stay with us to find out if the men's basketball team got the job done when they traveled to Iona.
And a special day for women's basketball as they send off 5 seniors that helped shape the program into the powerhouse they are now. Keep streaming. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Hamden. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. We got our fix from the ice. Now it's time to hit the hardwood. On to the men's side. Kevin, you teased this game before in the intro. The men's basketball team traveled up to New Rochelle to meet the Iona Gales. I want to know what happened. You know what happened. Let's check it out as you guys can see on your screen here. Baker Dunleavy's squad, they got the job done. Ken Young led the way for Quinnipiac with 18 points, including 12 in the first half. It was a close game at the end. With how close the MAC standings are, it's so important to win close games. Young stepped up to the free throw line with under 2 seconds left and nailed the first free throw to give Quinnipiac a 66-65 lead. Here's the foul on Young. He got the foul. The second attempt, smart play to miss it on purpose. The Bobcats grab a big win in New York. This was Quinnipiac's first win ever at Iona. Now let's take a look at the MAC standings here that are going to come up on your screen after the boys are done celebrating. Kevin, I have a fun fact about these standings before they come up. Quinnipiac takes down Ryder tomorrow night. If they beat Ryder, they will now have defeated every MAC team in under 2 full seasons. We don't have the standings there, but Quinnipiac in prime position with Ryder a game behind them tomorrow.
Agreed. And I like that fun fact, by the way.
Thank you.
So thanks for that. Now, from one fun fact to another, in that game against Iona, the Bobcats attempted and made 2 more free throws than the Gales, which was the difference in a 1-point game. In fact, Quinnipiac's been so aggressive offensively this season that the team has made more free throws than all of their opponents combined have even attempted. Coach Baker Dunleavy has emphasized getting to the rack and being efficient from the charity stripe, and it's shown in recent results. The Quinnipiac Bobcats women's basketball team has never lost a game to the Niagara Purple Eagles, 12-0 all time, and they have a 41-game winning streak in the MAC. Let's roll the tape to see if Trisha Fabry's squad could add one more win to their dominant reign. So, Quinnipiac and Niagara here. As we mentioned, Quinnipiac had never lost a game to Niagara, but they would be without their leading point scorer, rebounder, and assister Jen Fay. In this one, she scored 13 points in a big win last time. So we're going to take it to the first quarter. Here's Edel Thornton coming off a pick. Ball fake over to the corner, and then a beautiful teardrop there. However, Quinnipiac would find themselves in an unfamiliar position, losing at the end of the first. Now, Erin McClure, she took things up and puts them down. She had a protein shake today, strong to the rack there. So here we are now in the second quarter, and we're going to get Mackenzie DeWeese here off the Erin McClure pass. She's going to dribble, pull up, and nail the short-range jumper. So no Erin McClure, no Jen Fay, rather, no problem so far for Quinnipiac. And now in the fourth quarter, it was just the Paula Stroutmanet show in Hamden. Give it to Stroutmanet from deep, cash money, no problem. Strutting back on defense, she knows she did good. And now later, as you're going to see, she gets the ball in almost the same spot, is unsure of what to do, and then decides she'll go Erin McClure's route and just take it strong to the hoop. 2 extra points there. Huge basket. Quinnipiac wins by 20 points, improves to 11 and 0 in the MAC, and continues their dominance.
Defense is done what it's done all year, and Niagara came out ready to go compete and got us on our heels a little bit, and then we responded and played a much better game after the first quarter.
Over the past 4 years, Quinnipiac women's basketball has reached unprecedented levels of success. In the process, they've become arguably the best mid-major program in the country. This is due in large part to this year's senior class. Jen Fay, Brittany Martin, Erin McClure, Paula Stroutmanet from Latvia, and Edel Thornton, the Ireland native. They've all played crucial roles in the Bobcats' Sweet 16 and round of 32 appearances, and they're primed to go dancing for a 3rd straight year. Quinnipiac took Canisius on Saturday for senior day to honor those 5 players. Our own Josh Silverman took time out of his busy day of missing routine layups at the rec center to talk about the festivities. Take it away, Josh.
Senior day for the Quinnipiac Bobcats presented perhaps one of the biggest challenges of the season, not because of the opponent, but because the team wanted to find a way to honor seniors Erin McClure, Jen Fay, Paula Stroutmanet, Brittany Martin, and Edel Thornton, and everything they have meant to the program.
And then just looking at the banners actually out of the corner of my eye, it's pretty good. They've elevated the program to a national level, and with the biggest target on their back every day, they continue to handle, the challenges and everyone's best shot, really with such grace and ease.
While the senior class has now elevated the program to another level, that process started on day one. So what kind of legacy do they hope they're leaving behind?
Hopefully a winning one.
Yeah.
Effort, just knowing that, I mean, we lost our first MAC conference championship game, and I think that built us up to never want to lose again.
Due to an injury she suffered a few weeks ago, redshirt senior Jen Fay wasn't found in her usual spot in the starting lineup. With her health still not at 100%, the team still found a way to give Fay her moment.
I was hoping that would come to fruition, and it did. So that was a really special moment for all of us, for her to have that on senior day, because there's not a kid who really lives and breathes and drinks in basketball like she does.
Senior Day marked the 99th overall victory for the Quinnipiac women's basketball team seniors, and with 2 NCAA tournament berths behind them, the season is still going on, and they will search for their 3rd straight tournament berth. Reporting from Lender Court, I'm Josh Silverman.
Nice job, Josh, as always. So after the first 2 wins this week, you'll never guess what place the women's basketball team is in the MAC, Kevin.
Is it first?
It is first.
Oh,
42
wow.
straight conference wins. That's just absurd, plain and simple. These Bobcats just continue to roll.
It's time for a quick break, but when we come back, we have an update on an overtime thriller in women's lacrosse. Yeah, spring sports snuck up on us too.
And of course, you have your top 5 plays of the week. Stay with us.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Hamden. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Well, we're snuggled up in sweatshirts and blankets. Say a quick prayer for the women's indoor track and field team who continues to grind it out in this horrible weather while wearing shorts and tank tops. This past weekend, the Bobcats competed at the David Hemery Valentine Invitational. Junior Megan Scullin broke the school record in the long jump en route to a 9th place finish, and freshman Caliana Botello finished 4th in the high jump with a 1.7-meter launch. Up next, the team heads down to the Armory in New York for the MAC Championships, which will take place this Saturday and Sunday.
The men's tennis team went up to Queens, New York to take on St. John's at the National Tennis Center and lost 5-0. Patrick Achaparo and Hill Keymore did their thing for Quinnipiac as they won their doubles match 7-5, but it wasn't enough. The Bobcats hit the court again next Saturday when they take on Niagara.
From tennis rackets to lacrosse sticks, men's lax standout Foster Cuomo has been voted as the MAC preseason player of the year for this season. The senior led the conference in goals per game last year, and he racked up 33 goals and 49 points while leading Quinnipiac to the #1 seed in the MAC tournament.
Cuomo's squad then headed up north to open their season Saturday at UMass Lowell, but could not register their first win. The Bobcats scored 4 times in the fourth quarter, but still fell 12-10. Interim head coach Mason Polly praised the efforts of freshman goaltender Nick DiMuccio, who made 17 saves. Sophomore Jake Tomczyk scored 3 times in the opener. Quinnipiac will next head to Providence on Saturday to take on Ivy League opponent Brown. More lacrosse news, though, is Will Abbott was named MAC Rookie of the Week after scoring 2 goals and adding 3 assists in Quinnipiac's opening game loss. Abbott tallied both of his goals in the 4th quarter. The Massachusetts native is currently tied with Jake Tomczyk, who scored 3 goals for the team lead in points.
The women's lacrosse team also opened their season this weekend, and do you like goals? I like goals. Luckily for us, the Bobcats game versus Stetson on Sunday featured 27 of them. The result was a wild 14-13 win for Quinnipiac as Allison Kuhn scored the game winner in overtime for her 5th, I repeat, 5th goal of the day. Megan Zalowski also scored a hat trick, and Ashley Babinski just added a casual pair of goals for the team as well. Thanks to these heroics, Kuhn was awarded MAC Offensive Player of the Week this week. Her 5 goals were a career high, but she also had an assist and 2 draw controls to fill the stat sheet. Teammate Sammy Walters won MAC Defensive Player of the Week as well to sweep the 2 major awards. Walters came into the game after halftime, and she responded by making a career-high 9 saves in the win. In a 1-goal game, every goal and save is crucial, and these 2 came up big when it mattered most. Crazy win for the Bobcats there. Now let's get even crazier.
Let's do it.
It's time for our top 5 plays of the week.
We did a little rock, paper, scissors off air. I won, so I'll start with 5. You can take 2 and 4. Let's roll it. Top 5 plays of the week in Quinnipiac Athletics. A lot happened. Let's get to it. Number 5, Quinnipiac and Brown here. Brett Bodwin is going to sweep this one home. Andrew Shortridge cannot reach it with his outstretched arms. Brown scores. Brown wins.
Now back on the ice for play number 4. It's the Battle of Whitney Ave. It's Quinnipiac. It's Yale. And it's Nick Germain off this rebound with a backhander. Trickles through the back of the net. Hamden erupts for the opening goal of the game. That would be the first of 4 as Quinnipiac wins 4-0.
Play number 3, Whitney Avenue rivalry, just 8 miles the other way. Let's take this one slow here. Brooke Bonsteel's going to take it off her skate. Can't make it. Randy Marcone is crashing. That's what good players do, and slides it under the Yale netminder for the goal. Quinnipiac with a huge 2-1 advantage there. They wouldn't lose the game, they tie, so not terrible.
But they still gain points in the standings, and now play number 2. Speaking of gaining points, Cam Young, straight cash homie. Step back 3, drains it, big shot against Iona en route to a big road win for Baker Dunleavy's Bobcats.
Cam Young is wearing number 1. He shot it over Iona's number 1. Here's play number 1.
Beautiful.
Adele Thornton's going to chuck the ball up, and from Steph Curry range, yes, sir!
That is from where they tell the Uber drivers not to go, but they all go there anyways.
That's a pretty shot there on her senior day. Way to cap off a great career, and she's not done yet at Quinnipiac. Great top 5 plays. That was a crazy week, but there can be even more craziness next week as we show you what's on tap for next week. As you see here, I'm really looking forward to the men's basketball game against Ryder tomorrow night. Big game there for the MAC standings.
Oh, for sure. And women's ice hockey still clinging to that last playoff spot at home against RPI. And you know what else is this week, Jonathan? Valentine's Day, this Thursday.
Oh, nice. I was looking at Akron tumbling versus Oregon on Saturday. What are you doing for Valentine's Day on Thursday?
I will be watching The Notebook alone for the 7th straight year.
That's all the time we have for Sports Paws tonight. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30 Sports and check out our website at Q30TV.com.
And tune in for Bobcat Breakdown tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Time. We will have live post-game coverage of men's basketball versus Ryder.
You can see the wide shot of our studio. So for everyone behind the scenes, my co-host Kevin Higgins, I'm Jonathan Banks signing off from Studio 125. Good night.